Hey everyone, as always, Dylan Miller Prospecting, and it's Paydirt battle time again. And this time I'm going to be comparing one of my oldest favorite sellers with one of my newest favorite sellers. And that's Goldbay versus MinersDepot. And I'm going big. A $500 jug from Goldbay and a $500 bag from MinersDepot. So I'm pretty excited to get into this, but before I do, I need to thank today's sponsors. And that's my Patreon members, including my two newest members, Craig Violette and Katie Graham. So thank you both very much for joining my Patreon page. And if anyone else is interested in sponsoring this channel, you can go to patreon.com/Miller Prospecting. And now let's flash up the descriptions for both of these bags or jug and go to the overhead. As you saw, neither the bag or the jug had a very good description. Neither the MinersDepot or the Goldbay state where this material comes from. The Goldbay did state it is a 15-pound jug, but they do have a typo in there that also says it is a 5-pound jug. It also states that they have bigger gold in the subscriptions as opposed to the non-subscriptions. MinersDepot just say they add gold. So neither one had a very good description. Let's weigh them up to see how much they weigh. This one does state 15 pounds, while the MinersDepot doesn't say anything. So we'll just curiosity, see how much. 9 pounds, 11.8 ounces. And for the Goldbay jug, we're at 16 pounds, 10 ounces. And the jug does not weigh that much, so it is over the 15 pounds. So let's open these up, dump a little bit out, check out the material. It is a rather thick bag that this comes in, and it is wet. I will have to look at my old review of MinersDepot to see if this material is different than the old Arizona material, since now they've moved to Alaska. Just check it for some magnetite just to see. It is wet, which makes it more difficult, but not really too much in the way of magnetite. Let's open up the Goldbay. Just going to definitely some bigger material in the Goldbay so far. Looks like a little bit more magnetite in the Goldbay. Now I am not going to show me classifying this down because one, I have to dry this, and also there is going to be a ton of panning in this video. So we're just going to skip the classifying. I'm going to be right back, show you what's been classified, and this will be dried out. Okay, all done drying out the MinersDepot, classifying it down, as well as classifying down the Goldbay, which is in the light green pans. And I have to say, the clear winner in this is the MinersDepot. Pretty much equal amounts in all of them, maybe a little bit less in the -40. For the Goldbay, as you can see, the vast majority of this is in the +10. And you can't tell because it's an overhead camera, but this pile I could actually fill a second pan all the way to the top with. There is a ton of +10 here, a lot of -40, and then it gets up to here, but almost nothing in the -10, +20. So I'm going to be really curious to find out where all the gold is in all these piles of pay dirt. I did see gold in both of these plus 10, so I know there's gold there. But I'm going to be really curious to see if there's any in the minus 40s. With the Goldbay, I might be okay if there's none in here, even though this is a lot of material to pan out, because they do state that the subscription bags get bigger gold. So that might mean no minus 40. With the MinersDepot, they mention nothing, so I'm really hoping to find gold in all 4 classifications. But the only way to find out where the gold is to pan it out, so let's go get some water and do just that. So have some fresh, clean water, have my pan, and we're going to get started with the Goldbay. Both pans are the plus 10 here. And after, I will put in some fresh, clean water, and then we'll do the MinersDepot. So let's listen to a lot of music and see where all the gold is in both of these bags, or jugs. Well, finished panning out all that material as you saw, and that took me about 2 days to go through it, re-go through it, and go through it a third time. And both of those bags were pretty difficult to pan out, but we'll get into that in a minute. For now, let's show you the gold I found. In the plus 10, I found some nice nuggets, some nice pickers in both bags. This is the Goldbay, and this is the MinersDepot. Definitely much bigger nuggets in the Goldbay. In the minus 10 plus 20, even more gold. A really nice pile for the Goldbay and about half as much in the MinersDepot. In the minus 20 plus 40, again, even more gold. A really nice pile for the MinersDepot and a tiny little pile for the Goldbay. And lastly, in the minus 40, even more gold, especially from the MinersDepot. A really nice pile of minus 40 from them. And just a little bit in the Goldbay, but it did make it worth panning out. So let's turn on the scale and start weighing these up. Let's do a couple of these nuggets from Goldbay just to see. 1.845. And we'll do the other really big one. 1.685, and let's see, we'll just do all four of them. 1.165, and lastly, 0.665. Let's weigh up some of the nuggets from the MinersDepot. 0.9. 0.60. And I will say this one here has some nice quartz. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it definitely has some inclusions in it. Wait, this one, see what this one is. 0.715. So let's just weigh it all up, see what we get for a total. We'll do the Goldbay first in the plus 10. 5.470. Minus 10 plus 20. 2.210. Minus 20 plus 40. 0.435. And lastly, the minus 40. This should budge the scale, but barely. $0.55, and let's weigh it all up. And there were no guarantees in either one of these bags or jugs. Eight 8.160. And now let's weigh up the MinersDepot. Make sure we get all the gold out. In the plus 10. 4.785. Minus 10 plus 20. 0.775. Here's a nice big pile. Minus 20 plus 40. 1.910. And this minus 40, which is definitely going to budge the scale. Probably almost a gram in there. Less than I thought, but still 0.685. Let's weigh it all up and see what we get. Well, there you go. 8.160 again. Pretty amazing that they both had the exact same amount of gold in them. But now let's talk about how difficult these bags or jugs were to pan out. Now let's talk about how difficult it was to pan out the $500 unsearched jug from Goldbay and the $500 bag from MinersDepot. And they both scored the exact same score on my difficulty scale, but for different reasons. While they both had a lot of material to go through, 15 pounds and 10 pounds, they both clouded up the water, but the Goldbay definitely clouded up much worse, which made that a little bit more difficult for the Goldbay. The Goldbay had organics in their material, while the MinersDepot, the gold is very dark. It is much darker than the Goldbay, so it is a little bit harder to see at some times. They both had flour gold, but the MinersDepot had a lot more flour gold. So for both Paydirts, for a beginner panner, I'm going to give this a hard. For an advanced panner, I'm also going to give it a hard, but it just hit that mark. So if you just work a little bit slower, it would be medium. And lastly, for an expert panner, it is going to be medium. And it's right in the middle of the scale for medium. So this is definitely some material you will want to pan out a second time. And I will say, the Goldbay had a lot of chunky quartz in it, so you could always go back and study all the quartz, which I didn't do, to see if any of them have any little bitty inclusions of gold in them. And now, let's get to the reviews, the ROIs, and see who won this battle. All right, finished calculating my ROIs, writing up my reviews, and let's get right to it. This, again, was from Goldbay. It was their $500 jug. Had no guaranteed set amount of gold in it. Its cost was $500. Shipping was $14.95 for a grand total of $514.95. Gold recovered right here, 8.160 grams. Gold spot on the day that this bag was received was $58.83. Making this gold worth $480.06, which gave me an ROI of 93.22%, or on my scale, a 9.3. Now on the other side, we got MinersDepot $500 unsearched bag. Had no guaranteed amount of gold in it. Its cost was $500. Shipping was $16. So total cost right here, $516. Gold recovered right here, 8.160 grams again. Gold spot on the day that this bag was received was $58.24, making this gold worth $475.24, giving me an ROI of 92.10%, or on my scale, a 9.2. Now, before I go any further, I will say both of these bags of Paydirt were purchased on the exact same day by my secret shopper, which might account for why they both have the exact same amount of gold in them, because Gold Spot was the exact same price for both of these sellers when the bags were purchased. The only difference in the ROIs is that MinersDepot took a day longer to ship. So for ROIs, while I probably would call this a tie since one was a 93% and one was a 92%, I will give the win to Goldbay because those nuggets are almost twice the size of the ones that I got out of the MinersDepot. But if you prefer a lot of gold in every classification, MinersDepot would be your pick. I just like big nuggets, so I'm going with the Goldbay. Now for fun factor, both of these bags, I'm giving them a 10. They were both fun to pan out for different reasons. One, seeing all that chunky gold from Goldbay, and having so much gold in all the classifications for the MinersDepot. So they're both getting a 10. For Paydirt description, they're both also getting the exact same score. But unfortunately, it's not a 10, it's a 4. Both of these sellers have dismal descriptions, but I am going to give the win to Goldbay because they at least do tell you the weight of the material. Other than that, neither bag really tells you too much. For quantity and packaging, Goldbay is getting a 10. It was the 15 pounds stated, and it was also the 5 pounds they also stated. In fact, I got 15 pounds. And the packaging was really good because it is in that really thick plastic jug, so it's not going to break, and you're not going to lose any of your Paydirt. For MinersDepot, they're getting a 6.5. 5 for quantity because they don't tell you how much Paydirt's in there. I could have spent $500 and got an 8-ounce bag of Paydirt in there, or I could have got 1,000 pounds of Paydirt. They don't tell you, so they're getting a 5 for that. They're getting an 8 for the packaging because it is a really thick Mylar bag, so 6.5 total for MinersDepot, giving Goldbay the win for quantity and packaging. For customer service and shipping, they're getting different scores here. For Goldbay, they're getting an 8, 10 for customer service, and a 6 for shipping. It took Goldbay 6 days to ship out this dirt, which is pretty unfortunate when you're spending $500 and they don't email to tell you your Paydirt's going to take a while to ship. For MinersDepot, they're also getting a 10 for customer service and they're getting a 10 for shipping. While it did also take them a week to ship out the Paydirt, they do state on their Paydirt page that they are only shipping once or twice a week. So I was expecting that. Wasn't really expecting the slow shipping from Goldbay. So the winner for customer service and shipping is going to MinersDepot. So after all that, total scores, Goldbay 8.3, MinersDepot 7.9. And who's the winner, you might ask? Well, technically, I'm going to say Goldbay because the nuggets were bigger, which in theory should give you a higher ROI since gold nuggets can sell for more. They also had a better description, quantity, and packaging. So technically, Goldbay should be the winner, but I think if anyone bought either one of these bags, they would be the winner. Getting a 92% ROI from an unsearched bag is really good. So now, all that's left is to flash up the scores and give away a 24-karat gold-plated dime. So let's flash up both of the scores right here. And now for today's 24-karat gold-plated dime winner, just this right here, just the gold-plated dime. That's going to go to Refotris Rooted Prospecting. So Rooted Prospecting, make sure you email me so I can send you off this gold-plated dime. And to everyone else, thanks for watching. Happy panning. And if you're not already a subscriber, make sure you hit that subscribe button below.